Hello, everyone. Welcome to ELI, the only podcast in India where we bring a new founder on every episode. And today we have with us Swarup Bose, who is the founder and CEO of Celcius Logistics Solutions. Uh, can you first set the context for our audience? What is the role of a cold chain in the whole logistic ecosystem?
Okay, sure. I'm sure you have had ice cream at home and you've taken medicines from a shop.
Right,
I'm sure you bought vegetables and fruits from the market or from Blinkit or from Zomato.
right.
Uh, I'm sure you have taken chicken from a department store, frozen chicken, processed goods, ready to eat meals. These are all the products that cannot survive without a proper cold supply chain. What
Mm-hmm.
that means is right from the point of manufacturing or from the point of a farm. When you are harvesting oranges or mangoes or lychees or fresh vegetables, all these need to go through a proper cold chain.
Okay.
These are not products you can carry in dry. The
Mm-hmm.
moment you do, they either ripen too fast, wastages increase, or they spoil. If it's your medicine, everything has to be kept in 15 to 25 degrees. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you have seen behind every medicine, it's written store in a cool, dry place.
Right.
So cool is basically up to 25 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, in India, the ambient temperatures are 40, 45 degrees. That means you need to carry even the regular medicines like a crocin tablet in a proper cold chain till it reaches the retail store and where you can buy it from. Otherwise, the efficacy dies away.
Mm-hmm.
So, cold supply chain is an integral part of any perishable product. That is exactly what we do.
Got it. And these cold storages, cold storage and cold chain, they're the same thing, I'm assuming.
Cold storage is a part of cold chain. So cold chain is basically pick up from a farm or manufacturing unit, transport it in a refrigerated vehicle, put it in a cold storage, then transport it again in a smaller refrigerated vehicle, take it to the distribution hubs. From there, do hyperlocal deliveries,
Mhm.
again in temperature controlled. So the
Mhm.
entire process, entire chain is called cold supply chain.
Got it. Uh, so these are very traditional forms of businesses. They have been around for quite some time now. Probably 100 years back, it was also there, storing vegetables and fruits. Pretty integral part of our supply chain. What is the innovation happening recently around that? Like, why did you think there is a scope for improvement in whatever current processes are?
Yeah, I've been in cold supply chain for almost 20 years now. So
Mhm.
before I started Celcius, I was already a businessman into manufacturing of cold chain products like
Mhm.
refrigerated vehicles and cold storages. I used to manufacture them. So I've been seeing the cold supply chain in India for 20 years. But obviously, cold supply chain existed much before that also.
Right.
But when you look at the cold supply chain in Europe, in US, in Middle East, rest of the world, it is one of the most technologically advanced supply chain
Mm.
because since it deals with perishable and material can get spoiled if not kept at the right temperature,
Mm.
tracking, tracing, IoT devices, command structure, platform, control tower, all these are what is being used in the cold supply chain to monitor your perishable product. They take care of their agriculture products, medicines like gold.
Mm.
Transportation of that is considered to be of topmost priority because we are not producing more, right?
Mm.
Farmlands are limited, but the population is unlimited. It's always growing. So the amount of products that you make today is limited, but the amount of people being born and the population increasing just keeps on going.
Mhm.
So how do you save each and every product so
Mhm.
that it reaches the masses without wasting it?
Okay.
That is exactly where cold supply chain comes in, preservation of food, food security. That is exactly where that comes in.
Understood. So this is probably very integral to the food security of India and many other things like
Absolutely.
storing vaccines and all.
Everything, everything. In fact, India loses up to 1.3 trillion rupees worth of perishables every year.
Wow.
We lose it, as in we throw it away, it gets spoiled, we have to discard it. That's 1.3 trillion worth of products that could go into people's mouth. It could save lives. Medicines could reach, vaccines could reach.
Hmm.
So one of the major reasons for such kind of wastage is not being able to properly store it or properly distribute it.
Okay.
You must remember COVID ke time.
Right.
So the company also started during COVID. When
Hmm.
my earlier business shut down because of the lockdown,
Hmm.
me and a couple of my friends who are my co-founders, we started thinking about what can we do in cold supply chain? How can we innovate? Since COVID vaccines are coming, we'll need a distribution channel, a way to track it, a way to keep trace of it. And we knew that was lacking in India.
Hmm.
That is where the idea of Celsius came through,
Okay.
that we should do something which other people are not doing. Other
Hmm.
people are creating more cold storages, putting more vehicles, but no one is working on the tech part of it. No one is looking at how to reduce wastage, what technology can I bring in so that we can monitor it properly.
Hmm.
So the tech part was missing, and that is what we started thinking about. And the Celsius marketplace was born from that.
Got it. What would you say is the current underlying problem in the market? Like you were saying, almost 1 trillion rupees worth of goods are getting perished because of lack of cold storage. Is it a lacking problem? Like, is there a shortage of number of cold storages? Or is it because people are not willing to spend that extra money because it always costs money to store in the cold storages? Uh, is it a mindset problem? How would you define it?
See, very honestly, before COVID, it was a mix of problems. There is always a problem with supply. Not enough cold storages, not enough vehicles, not enough distribution points which are temperature controlled. So that is still a problem. While it is getting better, it is still a very big problem. Before COVID, there was a mindset problem also,
Hmm.
because people were okay to skip quality. क्योंकि you used to go and buy medicine, you would never check whether it was kept in a proper
Right.
refrigerated or not. You would go buy vegetables, but you would not know whether the vegetables will rot tomorrow or
Hmm.
are they already rotten. You cannot always see a rotten vegetable. वो खराब
Right.
बाद में होता है, but you always buy it trying to buy the freshest stuff.
Mhm.
Post COVID, when the world became digital, you remember the time when we were sitting at home, started ordering online, quick
Right.
commerce picked up, e-commerce picked up. People have become more cognizant of the products that they buy,
Hmm.
more organic, more properly preserved, good quality products. If you send bad quality products, you will send it back, you'll raise a complaint. So people's mindset also changed when it came to products that they consume.
Hmm.
So in US, you will never find a rotten banana in the fruit stall in a Walmart.
Right.
You'll never find that because their license will get cancelled. India में it's okay. ये
Hmm.
rotten है, थोड़ा side कर दो, बाकी का
Fantastic.
ले लेता हूँ. Even from one bunch, you'll remove that two which are rotten and you'll take the rest,
Right.
which is our mindset for a very, very long time. Now it's not. Now send rotten banana to somebody's house and they'll return it. They'll
Hmm.
say, give me a replacement.
Right.
That mindset is also changing. That's a very, very big plus for us.
Hmm. Interesting. And how do you like all that sounds cool, but how is it done? What is the underlying technology? Do you use blockchain? Do you use IoT, camera, sensors, AI? Lot of technology out there to do that. Which of them are you using?
See, we obviously use a lot of IoT devices. All warehouses, vehicles, our riders, everything has an IoT device which is giving us live information about the product, temperature, humidity, location. All these are something that we monitor live every moment of every day. It's 24 by 7, 365 days a year. So we never lose track of a product. That is one of our biggest USP. Even if we pick up from a manufacturing plant, we take it to a warehouse. From there, we take it to a smaller warehouse. From there, we distribute it to a wholesaler or retailer. This entire journey is monitored by Celsius.
Hmm.
Everything is mapped onto the system and you never lose track of it. One of our biggest USP, and the technology behind this is what we have created: a transport management solution, a warehouse management solution, a inventory management solution, inventory distribution solutions. All this is what we have created in-house. And the Celsius platform is a amalgamation of all these technologies together.
Got it. And who are your customers? Like, do you sell to the cold chain operators, or do you sell to the people who are requiring cold chain access?
So this is where we pivoted. From being a marketplace, we became a 3PL partner. So today we are a 3PL provider to all the big brands in India,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be Parag Dairy, Godrej, whether it be Dr. Reddy's, whether it be Zomato, whether it be Blinkit or Zepto. These we service all these clients. We
Mm-hmm.
help them procure, we help them store, we help them distribute. So
Okay.
we are their backbone in the supply chain. That's how we work.
And at the other end, are you, hiring the cold chain operators, onboarding them on your platform, something like that?
See, the supply side of cold chain in India is highly fragmented. Almost 85% of the supply is in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities.
Mhm.
Only 10 to 15% is the organized market. We work with the 85%. We
Okay.
work with the small operators, single cold storage owner, single warehouse owner. We work with them. What
Mhm.
we do is we onboard them, give them training, do a quality check, install the IoTs, get it upgraded, and then take it live on our platform.
Okay.
These are the assets that we use to service the clients. We
Mm-hmm.
are an asset light platform, so we don't own any of the vehicles or own any of the warehouses.
Mm-hmm.
But we use all this to service. Today, we have more than 4,000 vehicles across India. We have got more than 100 cold storages. We have got more than 300 riders who carry
Mm-hmm.
special bags which can maintain temperature. We are
Okay.
working in road, rail, air, all modes of transport.
Mm-hmm.
So we are able to take product cross country, temperature controlled, and we can deliver anywhere within 12 hours,
Okay.
or we can send it via road, which takes 9 days across the country, deliver it to Guwahati or Srinagar or Mumbai or Coimbatore.
Mm-hmm.
We are servicing more than 600 cities today, uh,
Got it.
in properly, but again in cold supply chain.
Got it. All right. Now would be very interested to know your story. Like from the very beginning, can you narrate to us how it all started? Like, how was your early life, early days of, your childhood? Where all did you study and work? And how did this entrepreneurship thing come to you?
So very honestly, if you are talking about the journey, then my entrepreneurship journey started with my father. He's an engineer,
Mhm.
working in different companies like Larsen and Toubro and Shapurji Palanji. But he always wanted to be entrepreneur. So I remember in my childhood, my father had started two different businesses in two different times.
Okay.
Small businesses, trying to scale it up, didn't succeed, shut it down, went back to a job, tried again, didn't succeed, shut it down, went to Dubai for a job.
Hmm.
And finally, he was in Dubai for almost 28 years.
Mhm.
And there, his main job was cold supply chain. So
Okay.
he was working in the Middle East, manufacturing refrigerated containers, looking after cold storage projects. And that was my first exposure into what a cold supply chain is. But
Mhm.
then coming back to me, I never left India. I was born and brought up in Mumbai, studied in Mumbai, did my master's in computer applications, joined Wipro for a job. And one fine day, my father calls me from Dubai saying that, listen, Swarup, there's a big opportunity in India in cold supply chain and
Mhm.
not many manufacturers. Why don't we start a business?
Okay.
So he was always the forever entrepreneur. He kept on trying till the end.
Got it.
So he told me, why don't we start a business? I'll support you from here. You run the business there and let's try to set up a business. That's how my first company was set up.
Okay.
We set it up in Mumbai. We put up the manufacturing plant, small plant.
Mhm.
Um, we ran it for almost 19, 20 years.
Okay.
We went up to a yearly turnover of about 25 crores, which was a very big thing for us.
Mm.
And that was how we were building up the business. And being Bengalis, business is not really in our blood, right? I mean,
Mm.
uh, Bengalis are more known for their job skills and
That's right.
analytical skills and all. So, but we tried our hand at the business. Now, little by little, we built it up,
Mm.
came to almost to 25 crore a yearly turnover, and we were very happy with that. And then came COVID, where
Okay.
the factory shut down, manufacturing unit was shut down, and we were just sitting at home for almost 6 months.
Hmm.
And in that time, me and a couple of my friends who used to get together
Okay.
actually smuggle to each other's house. We were not allowed to go anywhere. So
Hmm.
we were in the same society. So we used to smuggle ourselves into each
Okay.
other's house just to sit in the evening and have some fun. One
Mhm.
such evening, we sat down and we started talking about experiences. One
Okay.
of the co-founders, Rajneesh, used to work in startups in edutech. So he started talking about startups. I
Mhm.
started talking about why don't we do something.
Okay.
I'm also sitting at home, so why not try our hand at startup? And the obvious idea came through was cold supply chain because I
Okay.
had expertise in it. We did a quick search and we found no company who was a technology-led company in India looking at cold supply chain.
Right.
We checked delivery, we checked Blackbuck, we checked a few other platforms. No one was doing anything in cold chain. No
Right.
one had any vehicles, no one had any cold storages.
Hmm.
So they were just keeping themselves away from the cold chain. And we found the gap there.
Hmm.
We knew COVID vaccines were coming up, so we knew that sorry, we knew that tracking, tracing, managing the supply chain would become a big thing.
Hmm.
So that is when we decided that we will foray into cold supply chain as a startup. And very honestly, I knew nothing about what a startup is
Okay.
except the spelling of startup.
Hmm.
I knew none of the terminologies, what a ARR is, what MRR is, what is GTM. I
Hmm.
never needed to know, so I never knew it.
Right.
We came up with the idea of Celcius. We came up with the name of Celcius. We came up with the design of Celcius on the same evening. We went
Okay.
to Canva, started designing the logo. And very honestly, that evening it was more like a grand idea that we just wanted to play around with.
Hmm.
But we ended up designing the logo, the tagline, everything on day one. And till date, Priya, that has not changed. The
Wow.
logo is the same, the tagline is the same. The idea was to create India's first unbroken cold chain.
Hmm.
We wanted to be the company that could handle any part of the cold supply chain right up to the consumer, a true farm to fork cold supply chain.
Hmm.
And we started the journey then, started meeting VCs, started talking to HNIs, learned how to pitch a startup, which was very difficult, by the way.
Hmm.
Learned how to make a pitch deck. I mean, we must have made 200 variations of a pitch deck before we actually understood what has to go into a pitch deck.
Got it.
But did that, got some success, and here we are today.
Very interesting story. Uh, can you tell us what happened after that? Like you probably tried raising funds, you built a logo and all,
Yeah,
but the most difficult phase is to, go from 0 to 1,
yeah.
which is called a 0 to 1 journey in the startups. You have to convince customers, you have to, talking from a 3PL standpoint, you have to convince the suppliers of cold storage. You have to onboard a lot of people, win their trust, make them use the technology platform that you have, make investment in IoT, make probably write codes, hire people, lot of investments. How did you, cross that path before you started breaking even or something?
See, when we started, the first thing we did was talk to a few transporters that I knew, told them, will you help us? We are trying to do something. So when we do get a load, will you give your vehicle so that we can service that load? We started talking to clients. Directly, clients didn't want to talk to us. We were a no-name brand, just
Hmm.
started, no experience in running logistics. So obviously the brands were not working with us. So we started working with agents and brokers and find work wherever we could
Mhm.
while we were building the platform. So
Okay.
the platform was getting built with our third co-founder, Arvind, who's the CTO in the company. We used to tell him what is the kind of algorithm we want, what is the workflow. He used to design all that.
Hmm.
So while he was designing that, I was running around trying to get work. Then we understood that we'll need to make a pitch deck
Hmm.
and we'll need to start pitching. We made a rudimentary deck, started emailing all the VCs in the world. I
Hmm.
mean, just imagine at that time I reached out to SoftBank also,
Wow.
not knowing that SoftBank is not going to be interested. But Started sending 200 emails a day, hoping that people will get back to us. Then we understood that we need to approach HNIs, high
Mm.
net worth individuals who will fund us in the initial stages.
Okay.
So grabbing HNIs is more difficult than emailing VCs. So
Mm.
then we started looking at forums like Mumbai Angels and Keretsu Forum, where
Mm.
we got an opportunity to pitch.
Okay.
That is where, by that time, we had already made like 200 variations of the pitch deck,
Mm.
understood, did research, understood what a pitch deck should be like,
Mm.
and we got our idea correct. What we
Okay.
wanted to do, what should go into the pitch deck.
Mm.
Very happy to say the pitch deck that we made in 2021 January
Mm.
is true even today. The
Okay.
ideas we put in the pitch deck is true even today. We
Mm.
pitched it to maybe close to 300 people.
Mm.
We spent hours convincing people for a 2.5 lakh investment, for a 3 lakh investment, for a 5 lakh investment. We landed our first investment somewhere around June of 2021, which
Mm.
was hardly for about 50 lakh rupees. But that was a big amount for us because it helped us gain some confidence, hire a couple of guys, get a small office. We were like 6 people at that time, but at least with that money, we could do that.
Okay.
Once I got this fund, we started showing a product market fit. We
Okay.
started actually going in the market, getting more business, landed our first contract. Then we went to a second raise where we raised 3 crores.
Mm.
Then we went to a third raise, we raised 35 crores. A
Mm.
fourth raise where we raised 100 crores.
Mm.
And recent most raise, Series B, we raised 250 crores.
Wow.
So, been 5 years now, but bit by bit, we built the company. Sounds easy when I say it, but trust me, every race, every time we faced a problem, it used to be sleepless nights. And
Mm.
every round we raised, we used to pitch day and night. I used to pitch so much that my then 6-year-old daughter learned my pitch. So while playing, she would pitch Celcius. It
Wow.
became they kept hearing it and they then started repeating it. It was that kind of a situation.
Wow. This is so interesting. Now looking at the bigger picture, like you have built the product and platform, you raised funds, and you've crossed probably 0 to 1 and 1 to 10 journey. What's in the future? Like this is a massive problem that you are trying to solve, and all the traditional players like DTDCs of the world, or let's say delivery, you gave their example. Nobody is trying to solve this problem because it's a such a complex problem, deeply rooted to Indian agriculture sector. Lot of informal economy is also involved. They don't want to, invest in technology. They don't have funds and all the jugaad culture, chalta hai attitude, lot of underlying problems, and there is a right reason why these people, the large players, are not entering that space. What is the big vision that you have for the future?
See, it's not that they don't want to enter the space. Their core expertise is different.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Whether it be deliveries or DTTCs or Blue Darts. See, DHL does cold supply chain all over the world, but not in India.
Okay.
The entry barrier here is very difficult because it's a highly unorganized market, highly fragmented market. So very, very difficult to build here. And we have faced that difficulty over the 5 years that we have been in business. So I can vouch that it is, yes, it is very difficult. But the vision is very simple. We are trying to create a supply chain which is going to support the farmers, the manufacturing units, which is going to let even big brands expand into tier two, tier three, tier four markets.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to connect the smallest of the city to the largest of the city. We
Mm-hmm.
want a product manufacturer from a tier four city be able to sell in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, Hyderabad. He should be able to expand everywhere. The kind of supply chain we are creating for the big brands allows them to go to Guwahati, Siliguri, Silchar. We want them to go to such places where earlier it was not possible. Working in tier one is already happening. The sources are also there, vehicles are also there, storages are also there, but we are creating more avenues for people to expand business.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, whatever materials we carry, we make sure that we save the material, we reduce wastage,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be in cold storage, in transit, in distribution. Save whatever we can, because every material that we save goes into somebody's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that we have not thrown away.
Okay.
Now, the bigger vision, if we can save ₹1 trillion worth of perishables,
Mm-hmm.
it goes back into the market, which reduces prices of things. You don't get bananas at 80 rupees anymore. You suddenly get them at 50 rupees. You
Right.
don't get lychees as a specialty product. कि बहुत difficult है lychees अच्छे lychees मिलना. It'll become a day-to-day product. You can get it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to buy medicines cheaper,
Right.
because now, see, every manufacturer builds in the cost of the wastage into their product.
Right.
So with a 23% wastage record in India, you can imagine the costs are up by 23% because they have to accommodate that into their P&L. If
Right.
we are able to reduce that 23% to 2.3%,
Mm-hmm.
now you are reducing the cost of products. You are putting money back into the farmer's hand. By creating supply chains, today we work with Blinkit across the country, where Blinkit is buying directly from farmers.
Mm-hmm.
But farmer is able to sell to them because we take care of all the headaches, whether
Right.
it is collection from a farm, processing, pre-cooling, packaging, transportation, distribution, warehousing, we are taking care of it. So
Mm-hmm.
now he is able to sell to the Blinkits, the Amazons, the big baskets, which opens up opportunities that were not there before. Obviously, we can do more. Obviously, it can expand more. Obviously, we can be much bigger. And we are on the journey there. We have not yet achieved anything. We are close to a 500 crore turnover company, but that's nothing compared to the $50 billion industry of logistics.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about cold logistics.
Right.
The cold chain industry is $500 billion.
Wow.
I mean, only the pharma is $100 billion opportunity, but dairy is $120 billion opportunity. Agriculture, I don't think anyone has even mapped how big an opportunity that is.
Mm-hmm.
And 15% of that goes into supply chain. So the industry that we are looking at is a 40-50 billion dollar opportunity, where I am doing 500 crore turnover. So we have a very long way ahead. We are looking at cross border in the future. We are looking at going to different countries in the future, launching there, helping our export oriented businesses by creating a supply chain across countries. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the long term vision for Celsius.
Got it. This is so relatable because I personally remember there was an incident in my family where we had to airship a medicine from Mumbai because it was not available, just because there was no cold storage, no facility available at the in our state. Having said that, I just have one last question for you before
Sure.
we close. Tell us, initially, during the initial phase of the discussion, you said you did not know about startups. You didn't even know the spelling of startup when you had started. Uh, but I think you have come a long way in the entrepreneur's journey. What have you learned about entrepreneurship? This is the question I ask to every founder who comes to our podcast. What is the process of on the entrepreneurship that you have understood? How how do what differentiates entrepreneurs from everybody else? And tell us, what have you learned, how others can probably perceive entrepreneurship and probably approach their entrepreneur journey with the right perspective.
Very honestly, I think most of the founders will end up giving you the same answer. But personally, I have I believe there are two things that you need uh, to be successful. One is perseverance, and the other is belief. You need to persevere through thick and thin, no funds, more funds, through success, through failures, through rejections. I mean, the number of VC rejections we have got, you would go mad.
Mm.
Six said yes, but 6,000 said no. So you need to persevere through that. You
Right.
cannot get disheartened. The employees in your company are looking at you. So you need to be always the guy who's leading the charge, always confident. No matter you know that tomorrow you're going to die, but
Mm,
today you still have to be the guy with full of hope, and it is very, very difficult to do that. Perseverance is topmost requirement to be an entrepreneur, and the second is belief. The
mm,
idea that you have, the what you're trying to create, the company you're trying to create, the product you're trying to create, your belief in that product. If
mhm.
you don't believe in the product, don't step into this. If you have your doubts, trust me, no VC will ever touch you.
Right.
The VC might not know your product, the VC might not know what you do, but he
Mhm.
will believe in you if you believe in your product. So
Yeah, I think
belief is right up there.
that's so true. That's a summary of entrepreneurship. I think you just spoke it. Perseverance, in other words, it's just the art of not giving up. As an entrepreneur, you cannot give up, even if you know that everything is going to collapse the next day. Still, you have to be confident. Show
In the last moment. Yeah.
everything. I think that's so true and relatable. Thanks for joining us, Swarup.
Sure.
Pleasure speaking with you, and kudos to the ventures. Kudos to your work, to you, and the ventures that you are going to build. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priya. Thank you. Bye.